All right, team, we're back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Adidas Adizero Dropset Pros that came out not too long ago, which is technically Adidas' second iteration of a HYROX or a hybrid type cross-training shoe. So really excited to get my hands on these. Let's just go right into the specs and then go into kind of like my thoughts on them. The Adidas Adizero Dropset Pros, had to get the 6 colorway. Love the tan, white, and kind of like the forest green into kind of like a lighter green down at the bottom. It does really remind me, for those who know a little bit of my background, I did go to Jacksonville University. It reminds me of my alma mater colorways for uniform. So really love the colorway. Green is sick. I think it's really solid. But all that to say, it has a 20 millimeter stack at the heel with a 22 millimeter stack at the forefoot, where it brings it down to a 7 millimeter drop heel to toe. When it comes to the mesh upper, it is, I believe, some type of climate cool technology. All that to say, it is super breathable. So being in Florida, the breathability of it during outdoor runs, I take it a lot on track runs or outside workouts, and I really do feel how much breathability my foot has. Going from there, it has obviously some overlays, and going into the midsole, it is a Light Strike Pro midsole, which is Adidas race day type foam. So it's very responsive, it's very comfortable. And down at the bottom into the outsole, we're going into a Continental rubber coverage, right into a light traction coverage, and it also it does have energy rods. So let me not forget about that. It does come with Adidas energy rod technology that is embedded inside the midsole. You can't see it, but I believe if you were to get the white and black colorway, like the OG colorway, you'll be able to see the rods come from here all the way into the Continental rubber patch. All that to say, it does have really good grip. I've used it for a couple HYROX workouts, and the lugs and the pattern, it does very well. The cushion, the responsiveness, I do enjoy it, and I do enjoy that it's not one of these max cushion type style shoe. With that, let's go back into the upper. It does have a little bit of cushion, a little bit of coverage around the heel and the cup, and then the tongue does have some gusseted. It is kind of like tight into, so it does help with the secure, and the laces are nothing to brag about. I do enjoy the ability to double up on the laces underneath the tongues for security, and just honestly to keep the laces secured on there. But all in all, going from the specs, I will say something to keep in mind when it comes to the sizing. I normally go, my regular running shoe size is a 10.5, and that's kind of like my go-to with any running shoe. I play it safe. It always gives me about a thumb width or a full thumb width from the end of the shoe. I will say you do have to size up. I'm regularly a size 10 on any of my training shoes. My running shoes, I go half a size bigger, so a 10.5. On these, I had to go a full size for my training shoe. So I had to get these in a size 11 for them to fit just where I like them to. And again, unless it's a race day shoe, I don't want it to be too close to my toe. So it does have a little bit more space, but I think that that's a sweet spot for me. So that said, if you like it snug, go with your regular running shoe size, but just know that they do run short. So play it safe. I would say if you normally have half a thumb or a thumb width space on that big toe, I would go with half a size bigger. If you like it real snug, then I would keep your regular running shoe size. But another thing to keep in mind is that they do run really narrow. From there, let's go into some of the likes. Some of the likes that I do enjoy is the overall construction. The shoe, I feel, is very well put together with its breathability, its responsiveness, its stability, which is a big part. Yes, the upper is narrow, but it has a nice base. So it is very stable, lower stack height. I think it's a very well constructed shoe. The grip is another one of my likes. Is again, dabbling into HYROX or just cross training in general. Different ground as I run outside, run on the treadmill, run on tracks. So really have enjoyed the grip on the bottom, both on midfoot and forefoot. I'm more of a forefoot striker, anything on the heel, although I will say when walking, I mean, it's a relatively comfortable shoe. So the versatility there is, you know, from cross training to shorter runs to, honestly, if you want to make it a more like a lifestyle shoe and just walk in it, you can definitely do that with the Dropset Pros. Some cons, and I would already mention it, some of the cons with the shoe is it does run short. So again, I am a 10.5 on my regular running shoe size. I had to go half a size bigger for it to fit exactly how I like it, which for me is about half a thumb to a thumb's width from my big toe. Another thing that I don't, and this might be just truly subjective, I don't enjoy how long the tongue is. It does have padding, and it is like the geometry of the tongue, or the shape of the tongue, is very well thought out. So, you know, it's honestly, it doesn't bother me as much, but I do feel like the tongue just sits a little bit higher on the ankle than I would prefer it, right? Like once you get past that last eyelet, it's just so too extra on the tongue. Like I just feel like it just sits too high. I mean, you guys can see it where the heel cup ends compared to where the tongue ends. Like to me, it's just a little too high, and just, you know, it's nothing major. It's nothing major. It's just a dislike. And then the last thing is, it is narrow. But we all know this with Adidas shoes, they do run a narrow just as is, no matter what shoe you go with. So thankfully the Climate Cool mesh does have a little bit of give, and then given that I went half a size bigger, it does have a lot more room than what it would have if I would have gone with a regular size. So short, long tongue, and the width, I would say, are my cons for the shoe. Who this shoe is intended for, I generally believe that this shoe, as marketed, it is for those HYROX athletes. It is for anybody who does or dabbles in cross training, and anybody who honestly has a little bit of lift with a little bit of intervals inside their workouts. I do think that this shoe could be a short interval or, you know, shorter distance run type shoe. So if you're looking for a shoe for your casual 3 to 5 miles every other day or every day, along with, you know, it could be a speedy shoe. Again, I use it for some of my track workouts, and I do believe that I get just enough of what I need to get through. And given that it's not a super high cushion shoe, and I wouldn't say it's super light, I really do think that it helps with running mechanics and being more conscious of your running mechanics. Kind of like a, you know, for lack of better terms, it reminds me of more like a OG flatter running shoes. I would say if I were to compare it, and I mean it in a sense like a racing flat, they give me a feel more like the Brooks Launch 11s, in a sense of you don't feel a lot out of them when you run, but you get just what you want, and it all depends on how much force you put into the shoe. So I think they're very, very good, don't get me wrong. So final thoughts on the Adidas Adizero Dropset Pros. I would say for the price point of $150, it is really hard to beat. If you are looking for a more stable model than the Evo SL, and it's something that you've enjoyed running in, I think this is the shoe. If you want an Evo, the cousin of the Evo SL that you can lift in, and when I say lift, think about group training, cross training, none of these maxing out lower body exercises, none of this maxing out explosiveness. I generally think more like your hybrid, your HYROX style workouts, where you have lifts in there, but you also have intervals, or you have lifts that don't require that rigid stability, I think that this shoe is going to perform perfectly well. So I think that they hit the mark with the pricing, with the specs, with its overall use case. This might be a shoe that I will potentially race in this coming HYROX season. And I'm really excited to see how it feels. And I'm really excited to honestly just have it in rotation. That's another thing. If you already have a stable shoe and you don't want something that's going to be max cushion or something that's going to have a full carbon plate, this is the shoe to go for, without a doubt. So yeah, Adidas is leading the mark with these shoes. So, and the price point again is amazing. Colorway sick, everything you could ask for a hybrid shoe. And if you guys are looking for any other hybrid shoe reviews, make sure to give me a like, put a comment down there, let me know what shoe you want to see, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Check them out.